From beaten pieces, a story began. One man with a vision, one heart with a plan. Ink-stained fingers, sleepless nights. Truth on the page, our people's life. Headlines faded, but the mission stayed. Through the storms, we still made our way. No corporate backing, no fame, no show. Just heart and hustle, and the will to grow. Be part of the call. Lift your voice and join the flame. 40 years we built this hope.
Hello everybody, once again this is Fred Wanko coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on Allen TV. And as usual, I like to say good morning, good afternoon and good evening to you depending on where you are around the world. Wole Soyinka's bullshit is starting to catch up with him. You're going to hear his press conference after this. And it's one of those press conferences that he's so used to prior to social media. When the Western Nigeria controlled the press, they set the narrative for how to tell Nigerian stories. And Wole Soyinka was one of their heroes. They adored him, regardless of what bullshit he came up with. At these press conferences, he just sits like a high chief, and hardly any of the journalists would challenge him and ask him pertinent questions. He told them what he suspects based on his own feelings, but none of the press people asked him the pertinent, hard questions. That's the Western press and Wole Soyinka. And any of the people they worship. That's how they interview people. That's why even in Western Nigeria, they don't like one of their own favorite sons, one of the best journalists in Nigeria, Rufai, because he'll ask the tough questions, but they don't want him asking tough questions of his lordship, Wole Soyinka. As a matter of fact, full disclaimer, let me start out by saying that I was one of those that Wole Soyinka actually fooled prior to the campaign that led to the election of Tinubu. I was fooled by Wole Soyinka, and when he started his Tinubu-leaning shenanigans, I did an episode where I said that Wole Soyinka at the time was about 88, 89 years old, and he has done so much that he should be given the benefit of the doubt, because every 80, 90, 100-year-old person has had a full life where they've contributed and they've made mistakes. I cannot take away from Wole Soyinka's achievements, literary achievements. Wole Soyinka is a very learned man. But make no mistakes about it, Wole Soyinka is also one of Nigeria's best bullshitters. He's very eloquent, he has a good control of the language, and he uses that control of the language to mesmerize people. Brings me to the topic I have at hand today. God knows that anybody who has followed me knows that I have no love lost with Donald Trump and all the people who surround him. I still have to respect him as my president, but his policies are hurting my people. His policies are not the kind of policies that I take pride in. But in terms of Wole Soyinka's visa being revoked, so far we don't know the full details because he refused to go for the interview. Only an investigative journalist can go in and dig out. But this press conference you're going to listen to is Wole Soyinka at his best. He maradonas around the questions, all kinds of bullshit that's unrelated. The bottom line is that the United States said there are certain information they found on him that makes them uncomfortable with him coming back to the United States. If he had gone there, he would have clarified it and they'll pull it back, or whatever he said would have reinforced it, and may even have led to the Marines at the embassy arresting him and shipping him down to America to answer charges. Wole Soyinka is critical of Donald Trump, who is not. He gave up his green card or visa, whichever one it is, at his level. He could go to any country he wants. Visa shouldn't be his problem. But how can a man be so adamantly against Donald Trump and Donald Trump's shenanigans, and on the other hand, so adamantly in support of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his shenanigans in Nigeria. You go figure. I guess Tiwa Ranu. Yes, Wole Soyinka came out and criticized election violence in Lagos when it happened, but he didn't go far enough. If he went far enough, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu wouldn't have the audacity to continue doing the things they did, and Sanwo-Olu, the boy of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, wouldn't have the audacity to continue doing the things he does against a certain tribe in Lagos. They do those things with the full awareness of Wole Soyinka, and he turns the other eye and pretends it's not happening. But it is happening. Wole Soyinka was one of the people who marched against Jonathan. Wole Soyinka has been more about the atrocities of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. I shed no tears. Not that he cares, but I shed no tears about the revocation of Wole Soyinka's visa to the United States. I really wish Wole Soyinka would lose his entrance visas to other places like the United Kingdom, France, Germany. Let him go to Dubai, let him go to Saudi Arabia, let him go to Ghana. But it's time to start hitting these lying two-time talkers in Nigeria who have influence and pretend not to see things that go wrong. It's time to start hitting them hard. And for all you Wole Soyinka lovers, this is only the beginning. Only God knows what they found on him in the United States. Wole Soyinka sees nothing wrong with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but he sees everything wrong with the obedience. Go figure. Here's the interview, and I'll come back and conclude. Oh, before the interview, here are some of the things we know so far. Nigeria Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka's U.S. visa has been revoked, preventing his entry into the United States. The U.S. consulate cited unspecified, newly available information for the revocation, requesting Soyinka's passport for visa cancellation. Soyinka had previously declined a U.S. consulate invitation for a visa interview scheduled for 9/11, criticizing the timing and purpose. Soyinka expressed no intention of reapplying for a U.S. visa. What do you expect? Let him bring his macho to America and let's see what happens to him. The reality is that we all know that Donald Trump can be crazy, but also this may have nothing to do with Donald Trump. This may just be due process. Soyinka is best friends with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a drug dealer. So come on, guys. I have no confidence in Wole Soyinka's press conference. More is going to come out of this.
Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka says the United States of America has revoked his visa, making his entry into the country impossible, at least for now. Soyinka disclosed this during a media parley held at Kongi's Harvest Gallery in Lagos, saying he was unaware of any wrongdoing that could have warranted the revocation. In recent times, the U.S. government has taken steps to curb the influx of migrants into the country. And according to Soyinka, the U.S. consulate informed him of the revocation in a letter dated October 23, 2025. Soyinka's visa is classified as B1, B2, a temporary non-immigrant visa for travel to the United States for business, that's B1, or tourism, B2.
I got a letter from the ambassador. Very nice letter, very courteous. I wish always to stress this, that I have absolutely nothing against individual citizens as citizens of any nation. This is an issue which concerns the government. I have continuing good relationship with members of the consulate, the embassy. I receive nothing but courteous treatment from them. I want to stress that. And so I received this letter in which he informed me that he was away when that letter was sent, and that if I would please give him a call, he would try and explain the circumstances and so on and so forth. When I came back again, I got a letter, a reminder that I should call him. So I called. We arranged a call meeting. I think it was 4 o'clock about a week ago. And he explained, and again he offered a special visit by me. I'd be received by the consul, and then they would ask a few questions about the possible facts which existed that they didn't know about when this visa was issued. He spoke, and he spoke frankly, and I said, shall I be equally frank with you? I'm not interested. It has nothing to do with me personally. It has to do with the treatment which I know, the brutal, cruel, and often unbelievable treatment being meted out to strangers, immigrants, even in some cases, permanent residents, which of course include quite a number of Nigerians. I know of a number of Nigerians who were turned back, who live in the United States, who've lived there all their lives. Some of them have businesses, they have grown-up children, families who are even citizens of our country, but we just left in the normal way to visit home, and then found at the airport they weren't allowed to get on that plane. Because in the meantime, either their visas were under examination or had in fact been revoked, but they were not allowed to go back there, etc., etc. I don't want to run into the, you all know what's been going on. It's all over the media. You have friends, you have families there. So I said, it's not about me. I'm not really interested in going back to the United States. I said, but a principle is involved. Human beings deserve to be treated decently wherever they are, wherever they drop their buckets, even places where they're just visiting briefly. I said, I'm sorry, I will not apply for a new date. So he sighed and said he was very sorry, but that meant that my visa would be revoked. I said, by all means, I'd be willing to receive the letter of revocation. And I assured him that both he and his staff are given permanent visa waiver anytime they want to visit the Autonomous Republic of Ijegba, situated in Abeokuta. That there will be no reciprocal conduct from my principality. So he laughed, and eventually, of course, the formal letter arrived and I received it. So it's necessary for me to give this press conference so that people in the States who are expecting me for this event or that event or were thinking of it, not to waste their time. I have no visa. I am banned, obviously, from the United States.
Yep, that's called a Wole Soyinka press conference. Journalists sit down, listen to me. When I need your opinion, I'll give it to you. And they just sit sheepishly and watch. Here is a man who I bragged about his bravery as one of the last, if not the last Nigerian to leave Eastern Nigeria just before the bullets started ringing out in 1967 when the war started. He was gallantly in the East trying to convince Emeka Odumegwu to give negotiations a little more time. I respect Wole Soyinka for that. I really do. And none of us can take that away from him. Then he went to General Gowon's jail because of that gallant effort he made trying to bring peace between Nigeria and Biafra. Along the line, Wole Soyinka, I really think, got corrupted when he started sleeping with the enemy. I mean that figuratively. When Wole Soyinka started flirting with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, probably because he was broke. After the Nadeko thing that they all went on exile, I applaud him for that again. Can't take that away from him. But when Wole Soyinka started flirting with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, anything Bola Ahmed Tinubu touches becomes dirty. There's no question about it. Soludo, Hopo Zodema, Peter Mba in Enugu, Umahi, he was dirty before Tinubu, now he's dirtier. Just look at everybody that Bola Ahmed Tinubu touches. They become dirty, even if they were angels before they became friends with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Wole Soyinka is on record saying how Bola Ahmed Tinubu furnished his apartment or his house in Lagos after he came back from exile and he was stark broke. And because of those favors, Wole Soyinka can no longer tell the truth. Because of the respect I have for him for the things he did well in the past, I still say I hope there's nothing, no skeleton in the closet on this U.S. revocation of his visa. But you never know. That's my story today on Wole Soyinka and his audacity of hypocrisy, of ignorance, and everything that goes with it. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Fred Wanko coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on Allen TV. And until next time, good night and God bless.
We've undertaken to make a difference. Our foundation is passionate about empowering communities and fostering growth. We are grateful for the opportunity. We invite you to follow us on our social media, Facebook and Instagram at Munacha Charity Support Foundation. You can also reach out to us via these platforms or through email if you have any questions. In the same vein, we'd like to extend our gratitude to all our supporters and partners.
From beaten pieces, a story began. One man with a vision, one heart with a plan. Ink-stained fingers, sleepless nights. Truth on the page, our people's life. Headlines faded, but the mission stayed. Through the storms, we still made our way. No corporate backing, no fame, no show. Just heart and hustle, and the will to grow. Be part of the call. Lift your voice and join the flame. 40 years we built this hope. Our story, our name. Sponsors, partners, family, friends. Let's rise again. Together we'll stand. Allen Media, we tell your truth. Covering our community since 85. Be part of the growth. Be part of the growth. From Chicago streets to every coast, we gave our people what mattered most. Voices unheard, stories untold. We turned pain into power, ink into gold. No clickbait headlines, no empty fame, just